Just want to show off what I picked up today. My buddy texted me this morning saying he was looking to get rid of 2 trucks, and I really was not looking to drop any kind of money on any more RCs. I've already got enough over there. Yeah, my apartment's a mess too, by the way. But he hit me up, and I used to go bashing with this guy quite a bit. He always sent me pictures of how he builds these. If you want to look up Upside Down RC on YouTube, that's his video. You'll actually probably see this truck. There's a video of it. Not that one anymore, I don't think. But anyway, I kind of followed the build, so I knew exactly what went into both of these trucks, and they're built with pretty much anything you would want for them, and I'll go through all that. So he hits me up and he's like, hey, I'm looking to get rid of both of these and all these parts for the Summit. So I took the deal and just did it. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with both these trucks yet, but I don't know, just wanted to show them off anyway, show people what I got. So these are all Summit parts that he gave me with it. That's just stock takeoffs. Shock tower, or body mount, steering assembly, rear body mount. All of these rod ends, there's some aluminum ones in there, which, I mean, I might use those for like a shelf queen build or something. So there's a set of these. I don't even know if these are just like some Chinese shocks or something. I don't know. They're brand new. Stock shocks. These look brand new. New bulkhead. This diff actually has an aluminum cup in it. This other one is just regular. New drive shafts. 6 spur gears. They're not all the same. Some different ratios in there. New slipper pads. New linkage for the servos. The little pivot ball caps. New skid plates. The spider gears and stuff, and eye bars, because he put the hardened eye bars in there. This is another hardened eye bar. He had extra, just some random extra pieces here. These look like the shock mounts. Because it's weird, both of them on the truck are aluminum, but look, here's another aluminum one chilling. New rockers and package, new slipper stuff, pins, the toe link suspension balls to adjust your bump steer. I think these are drive shaft pieces, U-joint pieces, old extra diff parts. He said he built the diffs all up with LEM stuff, so there's all the old stock spider gears and all that. Some more rod ends, just little shock pieces, whatever. So I mean, that's pretty good right there. That's just the parts. Haven't even looked at the truck yet. So immediately you'll notice this thing is pretty hefty. A couple of obvious upgrades right away. So the shock tower, he's got a set of some sort of blue shocks on there. They look different from the other ones with the aluminum ends. The caps are still plastic. Looks like a Integy aluminum cover and motor mount. He's got the lights in the front and the lights in the rear. His wiring is very neat. I mean, it looks kind of like a mess, but there's a BEC wired in there. He's got the BEC drilled in and mounted to the little bracket right there, and waterproof box. So that was before Castle started making the waterproof one, so it's in a waterproof box, so that's cool. So, I mean, look at, the wiring job is clean, it's all heat shrunk and nicely wrapped together as best you can, at least with this many. So, and then we see that obviously, but if you'll notice, it's the Sidewinder motor, which is fine. I think they're all the same anyway. With the blower there, the dual Savox upgrades, aluminum towers, front and rear. No, I'm not going to open it up. can't see it, but you know, stock drive shafts, which is fine. Those work just fine. The RPM rod ends, RPM arms all around. Can't really see it in there, but it's got aluminum hubs or knuckles all the way around. These are that, what is that, HKK Germany or whatever, the wheel hubs for the Traxxas so that they don't wobble. I mean, watch this. There's like nothing. There's no wheel wobble on the hexes whatsoever. Like, and you can tell, I mean, look at this truck. I mean, okay, there's some pine needles in there, but look at how clean it is, man. And he's taking this thing in the river and stuff like that, but, I mean, you can tell he took immaculate care of this truck. Look at the bottom. This thing has been in a river. Oh, look, there's some more aluminum. Oh yeah, steel center drive shafts. Looks like there's a red aluminum brace in there. Sorry, my lighting isn't quite the best. The diffs are all built up with the LEM stuff and aluminum diff cups and all the goodies in there. I'm not going to take it apart to look. I trust him. I know the guy. I've seen the builds. So there's a better look at the aluminum knuckles in there, and he's got, you know, RPM rod ends. He's got the dust boots on there. Very, very clean truck. So what he told me is the servos and the LEDs are wired through the BEC. He says he's got it cranked to 6 or 7 volts or something. Can't remember what he said he had it set to. Let's see. So there's the body that came with it. He's got all these lights wired up. He's got the Proline light bar right there. This body's clean. There's no scratches on it anywhere. There's not even a scratch on the cage, except for where the body pins go in. Look at that, even on the roof. So, and he's just got it powered through a 9-volt in there. So he's got those all wired in there. Like, obviously, look at this, man. You know, this guy's put a lot of work into this truck. It's very obvious. So, very nice. I'm sure I'm forgetting something because he's done a lot of work to this thing. A lot of work. So, got the stock remote with it. I'm actually going to use that, even though I have a nice Futaba. I don't really feel like trying to set all these servos endpoints and shit like that. So I'm actually just going to use the stock remote because I have one of these on my Stampede that I use. It's not bad. So the high-low, and then for the locking diffs, that'll be fun to play around with. So that was the first truck. This thing. So I wasn't really even much interested in getting a 4x4 slash. I was kind of, only because I think it'd be a really cool basher. So he wanted to sell both these, and I was really more interested in the Summit, but I ended up picking this up anyway because, number one, he built it like, you know, pretty much all the way up. There's not much I'm going to even need to do to this thing. And so start from the front. So he's got LEDs. You check those out. I mean, look at the sealing job he did on that. You know, they're rubberized. Even from crashes, that's very solid. They ain't going nowhere. So Proline Pro-Spec shocks, which feel awesome. RPM arms, aluminum hubs. I believe these are the Traxxas slider drive shafts. Badland tires. Not sure what wheels those are, but they're sweet. I like the yellow. Once again, another BEC in a waterproof box. Just got it up front. This BEC, though, he wired in its own switch to turn it on and off if I want, which is really cool, I think. I mean, look at the wiring job. Look at how neat and clean that is in your radio box. It's just got the Valenia and VXL 3S in there, but it's running a Castle 4600 motor. It's got an STRC drive shaft, this cool adjustable battery tray. That's kind of cool. And then he's got tail lights on it. It's got tail lights, and again, those are rubberized and very solid. Feels great. So told me basically that I want to only run this truck on 2-cell. So I might gear it down so I can run it on 3, or I may end up taking that system out of it entirely and putting an 8th scale system in it so that I can run it on 3-cell. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But and there we go. Well, and then there's the body, you can kind of see. There we go. There's the body for it. Body's a little beat up, but honestly, it's in fucking fantastic shape. There's no cracks in it or nothing. This is why I bought these cars from this guy. He 100% takes care of his stuff, probably better than I do, actually. So, those lights up front are really cool. If I had a battery charge, I'd show them, but so there it is. I'm not going to tell you what I paid for all this, because some people might say I overpaid a little bit, but like I said, I know the guy. I didn't say it, but that thing's got all aluminum diffs in it and all that too. So I know the guy, and I knew exactly what he put into these things, so it was a no-brainer to me. They're in great shape. I mean, I got all the parts I'll ever need for this Summit. I got more parts that fit the E-Revo that'll fit this. I've got a bunch of gear sets for these because I have a little Mini, but I ended up changing that to a Savox servo. So I have like 3 or 4 gear sets of these. I've got an extra one of these. You know, I've got a DeWalt drill motor, so I could even swap this out, but to be honest, I don't really even want to mess with this truck because there's so much wiring in there and it's so well put together that I honestly don't even want to touch it. So, see what I'll do, but not bad.